everyone. JC Coffee here with Dr. Ronald Drucker. And today we are going to talk about the 30 systems test. Hello, Dr. Drucker. Tell
Good
us about
morning.
the
Good
30 systems.
morning.
So, Dr. Drucker, what with your 30 systems test, right? What specific systems are evaluated in the 30 systems test?
Well, literally over 30 systems of the body. Every vitamin, every mineral, toxic metals like lead, mercury, aluminum, cadmium, etc., pesticide residues, which we're all exposed to. Um, every single major organ in your body, your liver, your kidneys, your heart, your lungs, your brain, circulation, whether you have a fatty liver or not, whether you have osteoporosis, all your organs, pancreas, you name it, even your immune system. So it's so thorough and it's so broad.
Wow. So, how is the 30 body systems test different from traditional medical tests?
Well, traditional medicine, you might get a CAT scan, which exposes you to a lot of X-rays. You might get X-rays, which also expose you to X-rays. You might get some blood work, and the blood work is great, but it's very specific. For example, let's say we're looking for diabetes, so they'll run a blood glucose, or a standard test might be a CBC. They'll check for anemia and other things, but they're very specific and they're limited. And there's nothing wrong with them. They're great tests when used properly, although some of them are dangerous, like I said, with the excess X-rays, which are sometimes, I think, overused. Like an MRI, for example, is a great test, and you don't need the X-rays. It's safe. But the bottom line is this test gets me so much information, and it's very accurate. Uh, and if you did the medical test to try to get this kind of information, which would be almost impossible, it would cost you thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars.
Wow. So, what are the most common imbalances or issues you detect with this test?
Well, that's a great question because in America we have certain common problems or shared problems. First of all, we're all toxic. Excuse me. There's air pollution, water pollution. They're putting all kinds of poison sprays on our food. Chlorinated and fluoridated water. The water supply is contaminated. Uh, there's so many different sources of toxins, drugs and injections and all kinds of things. So we're very toxic. So we've got to get rid of these toxins. So everybody needs to detox, and some people need a different version, a different version than another. But the point is, we have to detox. So we always do that. Then nobody has enough minerals or vitamins because the soil. Excuse me, the soil's been ruined since World War II, and they don't put any real minerals back in the soil. So everybody has to take more vitamins and minerals. What else? Many people are too acid. People have heard that a disease can't live in an alkaline environment. Now that's not entirely true, but it's partially true. A lot of people have things like leaky gut. They may have a fatty liver. They have osteoporosis. A lot of people they have a poor body composition. They have too much fat. So these are the things we have to correct.
Wow. So, what kind of preparation is required before taking the 30 systems test?
Well, that's the great thing. There is no preparation. You just come in. You can eat. You don't have to eat. Um, there's really no preparation at all because, see, we're not injecting or taking anything out of your body. You're just holding on to a metal probe, and that probe sends electrical impulses into your body, and then the computer measures your response. And because the software has been around for such a long time, it's highly perfected. And the software knows that, this is too high, this is too low, this is just right, whatever the case may be. But it's over 300 data points we get. So by the time we're done, I know more about you than your mother knows about you.
I love it. How do you interpret the results?
Well, that's a great question because the raw data is very interesting and very accurate, but it's the interpretation that really counts. Because without a background in anatomy and physiology and biochemistry and the basics of the basic determinants of health and what an abnormal value actually means, the test is almost meaningless. So because I've been in healthcare for so many years, over 50 years, I actually teach other doctors something called laboratory and differential diagnosis. I have a natural cure for diabetes. I teach them. I teach them about the immune system. The best doctor in the world, that's your immune system. So by the time I put all that information together, you get a very meaningful and very practical result. It's very practical. Now, let me just mention something here. You know, they have what they call our normal values. So like say blood glucose, say it's whatever, 70 to 100.
Mm-hmm.
That's the normal value, but the optimum value actually is a little bit different. You see, the way they determine normal ranges is by an average and then a statistical analysis of that average. It's not a physiological optimum. So sometimes I have to skew the results either left or right to interpret what is really the best value for that person.
Oh, okay. So what kind of detailed report can the patients expect to receive?
Well, I sit there right with them, and they see the results, and I explain it to them right then and there, and they take notes, and then they take notes on the pertinent or most practical or meaningful parts of the test. That's number one. And then after that, within a day or two, I email them a complete report in paragraph form. And then they also have, excuse me, unlimited telephone follow-ups. In other words, if they have a question or a concern, they can call me. There's no charge for the call. So once they do the test, they have unlimited support from me from that point forward. This is unheard of, I know. I mean, nobody does that.
No,
I mean, listen,
nobody.
I even put my cell phone number, 954-547-0487. I put that out on the internet. I mean, and nobody does that. And I
Yeah.
tell people, you want, just give me a call. There's no charge. I'm happy to speak with you. Excuse me,
So
something happened. Let me get rid
what
of this.
type of lifestyle changes are usually recommended based on the test results?
Well, that's a good question. Um, well, what happened? I think I lost you, hon.
Are you there? I'm here.
I can't. Well, let me go here. Wait a second. Why did I lose you?
It might have went to a different page because we still see you.
Well, I'm glad you still see me. I can't see you. But anyway, that's all right. I'll work without seeing you. So, lifestyle changes. Well, here it is. So a lot of people kind of know that they really should be doing certain things and maybe not so much of other things. For example, most people probably know that sugar and soda pop really isn't good for you. Or a lot of people know that the drugs they're taking are toxic, but they really don't know what else to do. And they're not really curing them. A lot of people know they might need more exercise or a different type of exercise. A lot of people know a lot of these things. Maybe they're drinking enough water, maybe they're not. Maybe they're drinking the wrong kind of water. Water alone is an amazing subject. And there's so much wonderful information I have for them in regards to so many different things.
Does this test tell if you're dehydrated? Can it tell
Oh,
that?
yes. It tells you whether you're dehydrated, whether you're missing any vitamins or minerals, whether you have toxic. Well, everyone has toxic metals, but some people have more than others. And then I have to get them to detox, get rid of these toxic metals or pesticide residues. A lot of people really would be better off, of course, eating organic food. Not that organic food is the answer, the complete answer, because organic food, to be considered USDA organic, all it means is that the farmers haven't put a poison bug sprays on the land for 5 years. There's no requirement for nutrients, you see. They don't have to use natural fertilizers, for example. So, so we get all this wonderful information. And yes, there are patterns. For example, 95% approximately of the people I work with are too acid, and that makes their metabolism inefficient, We have to alkalize them, but there's a way to do it that's the best way and the most practical way and very, very inexpensive. Um, what else? A lot of people
So
they're storing too much fat. Even if they look slender, you'd be amazed how many people have what they call intra-abdominal fat, even though they look slender. And they got to
yes.
get rid of that. That can cause a fatty liver. That can cause all kinds of other problems.
So how often should someone do the 30 system test to maintain optimal health?
Well, what I do is I recommend after the first test, I make certain recommendations. Typically, it takes, excuse me, it takes a minimum of 4 months to fully implement them. Now, what I mean is they could start taking the recommendations the next day. But for the results, for example, to chelate out or to remove most of the toxic metals takes about 4 months with most people. Now, we do it in a very safe and inexpensive and practical way. You don't have to get, IV EDTA or chelation therapy like that. That's expensive and a real hassle and, bother, and even potentially dangerous. The way I do it is it's slower, but it's completely safe and very inexpensive. So that would take at least 4 months. So I would never recommend anyone redo the test, let's say within, say, 4 months. But typically about maybe in 6 months might be very practical. I have had a few people with severe acute problems do it in as little as 3 months. But like I say, most of the time, say every 6 months.
Okay, perfect. So can this test be beneficial for individuals with chronic conditions? And if so, how would it benefit them?
Oh, well, it's great for prevention. But if you have an illness, like let's say you have diabetes, or maybe you need to lose some weight, or maybe you have some a diagnosed condition, like maybe an autoimmune condition like lupus or rheumatoid arthritis or Hashimoto's thyroiditis or whatever, because there's 100 of them. Then we find out the cause of the problem, you see. And once you know the cause, then it's much easier to fix it. So it's a very therapeutic test. The test itself is not therapeutic, but the results are very therapeutic, you see. And the way I work is I get the person to detox the things that are interfering with their metabolism. Then I get them all the proper nutrients that they need. We also boost up their immune system because, see, most people, their immune system is not working that great today. People are getting colds and flus. We had this crazy COVID thing. A lot of people got sick with that. If you have a really strong immune system, you're not going to get those things. Or if you do, you'll get better really quick.
Fast.
So, and of course, look, the immune system's the best doctor in the world. So we always want to get your immune system in good shape. Some people need to either do a different type of exercise, maybe a little more, maybe a little less, depending on their situation. Some people, some people are shallow breathers. They just need to do breathing exercises, among other things. There's so many things that we look at.
So what about a patient that has, let's just say, liver cancer, and they come in to see you and have this test done?
Well,
What all
here's the thing. I cannot and will not treat cancer. It's not part of my purview. Now, what I can do is I can show you how to eliminate carcinogenic material from your diet, from your lifestyle. I can show you how to boost up your immune system. I can show you how to help your body to do better. But I don't ever interfere with someone who's getting, treatment for cancer.
But what if they're
not my area?
What if they just got diagnosed with it and now they're looking for holistic ways to, heal their body?
Oh, well, yes. Now, look, anything you do to help yourself, whether it's detoxification, whether it's an improvement in nutrition, whether it's boosting your immune system, is absolutely going to do you some good. Okay, I'm not saying it's an absolute cure-all, and I don't treat conditions like cancer. But what I do is, what I do is, it's really very simple. What I do is, I help your own body, the immune system in particular, which is the best doctor in the world, to do its best job that we possibly can get your immune system to do the best job it can do. And that's what I do. Then, I mean, look, let's face it. If you're prone to colds or flus, for example, maybe bacterial or viral infections, don't you think if you have a stronger, healthy immune system, that you're less likely to get an infection? Don't you think if you have slow wound healing, or maybe you have an autoimmune disease, if your immune system is repaired and functioning properly, don't you think that most of those things are going to go away?
Absolutely.
You see, so that's what I do. I don't treat diseases per se. All I do is help your body vis-a-vis usually the immune system and other things, but the immune system is the most important. And your immune system will generally does its job, and it protects you and it heals you up. Now, nobody bets 1,000, but think about it. Remember throughout history, there was something called the Black Plague, and it killed something like 1/3 of all Europeans. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It was transferred by rats. There was this bacteria that rats carried. and back then they didn't have antibiotics. They didn't even have public sanitation. Okay, they didn't have a clue. They didn't know what was causing this thing. They just saw a lot of people dying, suffering and dying. So after it was all done, 1/3 of Europe was actually died. But why did the other 2/3 survive? There was no medical treatments for this, because their immune system was so strong that it cured them. But the same thing is true of everything, you see. See, if your immune system doesn't work properly, you're not getting better. And you're going to be much more prone to getting ill. I don't care what kind of disease it is, you see. So
Yeah.
what I'm really doing is helping, again, I'm helping the best doctor in the world, your immune system, to do a better job. I'm not curing anybody. I don't claim to cure anybody. It's your own immune system that will do it, don't you see?
That makes complete sense. So what is the success rate or patient satisfaction rate that you've kind of seen with this 30 systems test?
Well, I haven't kept exact statistics, but I can tell you this much, that after I do the test with them in the office, I always ask people, what do you think? How'd you like it? And everybody always says, oh, this was great. It confirmed a lot of things I already knew, or I already suspected. Yeah, I can't believe how accurate it was. It picked up things I didn't even know. I mean, everybody loves the test. I haven't had a single person that wasn't happy with the test. And then, of course, when we follow up and we get them to detox and we get them the vitamins and minerals that they need and whatever else we may have to do, we get their immune system working right. I mean, the vast majority of people are very happy. In fact, I've had people call me after a number of months and say, I want to come in and for another test just to see how I'm doing. Now, they're all doing better, but they want to see, how much have I detoxed? How is my vitamin and mineral status, or whatever the case may be. And so they wouldn't come back if they weren't really happy, And they also refer people. I get a lot of referrals. People will come in, they'll get the test, and a day or two later, I get someone, I want to come in for the test. I don't know who they are. They Charlie referred me, or Mary referred me. They were very happy. So people love the test. I love the test.
I mean, well, I think it's phenomenal. If you're looking at it from a data aspect, you're trying to see what is wrong with you, right? And so from that standpoint, the test sounds phenomenal, because you only know and can fix what you know. If you don't know something is what is wrong, then you don't know how to fix it. So to me, it seems like
yes, that's a very good point, because you see, the history is very much related to a diagnosis. But this test gives me so much information. Of course, I'll take a history as well. But by the time we're done, we have so many causative factors determined. Because, look, for example, remember years ago, people used to get something called scurvy, where they would bleed and their teeth would fall out and they would get very sick. And that was from lack of vitamin C. But before they knew that, people would suffer and die from this terrible disease. How about rickets? People they have poor absorption of calcium into their bones. They might be bow-legged. They have all kinds of, those disappeared when people took enough vitamin D. Or how about beriberi? During World War II, when the captured soldiers were in these Japanese camps, they only fed them white rice and water. Well, the white rice didn't have the B complex. So one of the soldiers discovered that there was a pile of what they called rice shavings where the B complex vitamins were, and they ate that and they got better. They actually cured themselves of a condition called beriberi, which caused two main problems: mental illness. They actually would go insane from lack of B vitamins, or a
Wow.
terrible skin condition, or both. And they actually cured themselves just by eating these rice shavings. So you can go on and on. And imagine today with our damaged food supply, which isn't producing even a fraction of the vitamins and minerals that it used to, how terribly vitamin and mineral deficient people are. And here's something a lot of people don't know. See, your metabolism, which means that we start out with something, and then the body works on it through an enzyme, and then we get another substance, and then another enzyme takes over, et cetera, until finally you get whatever the body wants. Maybe a new protein, an immunoglobulin, something the body needs, right, to repair or to replace cells, whatever the case may be. Well, the metabolism is based on enzymes. Now, what makes enzymes work? Vitamins, minerals, and the proper pH or acid-base balance. So once we get you the proper vitamins and minerals that you need and get your pH balanced out or improved, your metabolism is going to improve. You're going to be able to burn fat. You're going to have more energy. A lot of people, their depression goes away. All kinds of things improve. And then, of course, even detoxification works better. And everybody has to detox. So the whole thing works together. It works in a synergistic manner.
Well, the key, I think, is to detox, but then stop putting the poisons in. It's like every day I have this same conversation with people. I can come in and tell you and show you how to detox your body. I can show you what nutrients to put in your body. I can explain to you that, hey, the food, once you cook it over 250 degrees, it starts dying, and everything we cook, we start at 350. So you can show people how to put it in. I mean, putting more nutrients in, pull it out. But again, it all starts with them, I
Well,
think
yes. Well, yeah. Well, I have a saying: there are few, if any, incurable diseases, but there are incurable patients. I have another expression, another saying. There's almost always a safe and natural alternative to drugs, surgery, and radiation, except in medical emergencies where those things can save your life. But if you think about it, if you have any kind of chronic problem, I don't care if it's diabetes, arthritis, an autoimmune disease, I really don't care what it is. These chronic illnesses will never be cured by drugs. Yes, the drug can help reduce symptoms. Yes, it might make you feel better, especially temporarily. But they all have side effects. They're all toxic, and they're not curative. Even if you take an antibiotic, let's say you have an infection, and let's say the doctor gets lucky and they give you the right one. There's always going to be some resistant strains. They call them superbugs, right? Or hospital-acquired infections, whatever they call them. The point is, these things mutate, and they adapt. And so some of them are not susceptible to the antibiotics. So even if the antibiotic kills 99% of the bacteria in your body, if you get lucky and they hit the right one, what about the 1% that are resistant? Your immune system has to kill the last 1%, you see? Or the same is true of a virus or a fungi or anything else. So it's really ultimately your immune system that heals you. You see what I
Yeah,
mean?
absolutely. Absolutely. And the 30 systems test will help you understand what's wrong with your body and help you heal your immune system, correct?
Oh, absolutely. Well, that's what I've been doing for over 40 years.
All right, guys. Well, there you have it. 411, we're bringing Dr. Drucker. So, Dr. Drucker, how does whoever is listening right now and whoever will listen in the future, how do they contact you?
All right. So the best way is just to give me a call, 954-547 0487. That's 954 547 0487. You can call or text me. You can also visit my website, holisticlives.org, holisticlives.org. That's HOLISTIC lives.org. You can look up my book, The Code of Life, and I have a new book coming out called How to Heal the Immune System. But the best way is just to call or text. If I can't answer the phone, my phone will capture your number. I'll call you back.
And the greatest part about all of that is there's no charge. I mean, what doctor offers his services via phone with no charge? So that's a phenomenal aspect of it all in itself.
Yeah, well, the initial consultation on the phone, I don't charge for that because first of all, I don't want to, discourage anyone from calling. But more importantly, I want to get an idea what's going on, because if I don't feel I can help you, I don't want to go any further. Now that's very rare, and I may have to look something up or research something for you, which I'm happy to do. But if I don't think I can help you, I'm not going further.
Well, all right, guys, there you have it. 411 Business. Hit that like button and subscribe to our channel so you can get notified of all the phenomenal businesses and people that come on here that want to share their services with you.